I just had a lady come in the dealership. She wanted to trade her fairly new Range Rover Sport autobiography. And I asked her why she wanted to trade it, because it was so new. And she was like, I need to lower my payments. And I asked her, how long have you had it? And she said, I've had it for about a year and a half. I said, okay. And what kind of car are you hoping to get into? She said, I want to look at a GLE 53 coupe. I said, you're not going to lower your payments on a GLE 53 coupe. Oh, how much are they? Oh, new, they start at around $100. And she was like, oh, well, I'm looking for a pre-owned one. I said, okay. I said, a pre-owned Mercedes GLE coupe is in more demand than a new one. And the least expensive one, current body style, 21 or newer, is going to be around the low 60s. How much are you trying to lower your payment? I need to get my payments around 800. Well, you barking up the wrong tree, sister. You need to be looking at a C-Class. And, you know, she looked kind of devastated. Like,
most people are living above their means. We don't have an earning problem. We have a spending problem. And this is not just singular to the black community. This is not singular to white people. This is nationwide. When you think about, and often at times this statistic is cited to where it says that most people don't have $1,000 in emergency funds. If a disaster or something was to ever strike, that's when you start to see people have to lean on credit cards, and even worse, a lot of times they'll lean on payday lending, which I guess in a lot of people's minds, you'd have to think, how much worse can it get? Yes, payday loans are a thing, and the interest rates are exorbitantly more than credit cards. And again, most people don't have an earning problem. I hear a lot of people a lot of times, and they say, man, I can't afford to live no more. It's because of your lifestyle. And we forgot what it means to live within your means. And living within your means have nothing to do with just doing it up to whatever it is that you can afford based off of what you take home at the end of the month or at the end of the bye week or whatever, so on and so forth. Often at times when they give you a mortgage, they give you a mortgage based off of what your income is. You don't need that much house. You don't need that much car. When you have the ability to be able to buy luxury items, that is a blessing. That is when you've exceeded expectations. Then you have the ability to do that because you've already secured yourself in your future. But as far as how the majority of the United States of America and Americans are living, they are poor. They have a poor mindset. And I don't think that people really understand what poverty looks like. Poverty and having a poor mindset is two different things. Most people act like they broke. Yes, you are broke, but more importantly, do you have a poor mindset? It's okay to go broke. I've seen a lot of people go broke because they had great ideas or they invested, or more importantly, my mindset is that I want to go broke every single month and making sure that I spend every dime and making sure that I spend it effectively so that I can reduce my tax burden and my adjusted gross income at the end of every single year is low enough to where I don't have to worry about the IRS taking a majority of my assets, but I've reinvested inside of my businesses. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. And everything, you know, we'll deep dive into that. We got Stock Club, Block Club, and then we start to have conversations on how you can leverage the information in order to continue to level up, even in corporate America. But my point is that when I see people a lot of times based off of what she's explaining in this story, and she's explaining a woman that is keeping up with the Joneses, focused on her look, as though anybody cares about whether or not she's driving that car. If you're going to buy luxury items, you have to buy them because A, you've exceeded a certain expectation, and then B, is because you like it and you love it. Guys, a lot of times they do it in order to get noticed. Women, a lot of times do it because they think somebody care. Nobody really cares. And when you go home at the end of the night and you get done stunting, guess what? You still got to face that $1,800 car note, which is crazy to me. A woman that can't even afford an $800 car note is paying an $1,800 car note. When I was coming up and when I was trying to figure it out and I was trying to make it, man, the idea of a $1,000 car note was just beyond me. It was beyond me. When I really started making money, honestly, everything was already paid for, and that's when I really started to invest in assets. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Let's hear the rest of what she got to say.
Clutching her pearls. Like,
The nerve to be
this is the
haughty.
deal. You built your life on the most money a month you made as opposed to the least amount. Now, that straight commission real estate job, the bottom done fell out of
She
it.
gotta sell.
But
sell her
your
ass
bills
off.
didn't go down when your finances went down, right? So you're gonna have to swallow your pride. Or, if your image means that much to you, then suck it up and pay the $1,800 a month you paying now. But trying to uphold the image while having sleepless nights because you can't pay your bill, that don't make no sense. Baby, I be driving whatever could get me out of it and get my payments lowered, is what I would be doing. The problem is people think cars make them. You make the cars.
You ain't got to worry about making the car. If it's me, I'm driving something that I've already paid off, and I'm stacking, and I'm stacking, and I'm stacking, and I'm investing. And then eventually my investments is supposed to be paying for my toys. But the core principle of what I've developed, or the core principle of what I made, that is the thing that continues to make me more money and more money. Now, when you really start getting smart and you really get there, you don't even worry about your investments paying for your toys. You spend the majority of your time allowing for your investments to compound and continue to reinvest back into whatever it is that you got going on, whether it's stocks, whether you're getting a dividend, whether you're in crypto, whether you at your job and then you make the money and then you start to invest in real estate and then you start in the cash flow and you reinvest it into paying off the mortgage early or something like that. Whatever it is that you have, you need to stay down. And I tell y'all this on the Millionaire Morning Show on a regular basis. Stay down for 10 years. It sounds like a long time. People be in jail longer than that. That 10 years is going to go by like that. But then you got to live the rest of your life doing what somebody else told you just to be able to maintain and be in the exact same spot that you was the 10 years prior. That ain't no fun. That ain't no fun. Yo, stay down, catch public transportation. If you can, the biggest life hack is staying home. Get a roommate. Stay with your parents. Pay a little bit of rent. Stack your money. Group economics. That's the fastest way for you to get rich. The fastest way for you to protect yourself is to make sure that you align with a group of people that's going in the direction that you're going in. But people and these women paying these $1,800 car notes, knowing they can't keep up, knowing they can't sustain it. When you see that big red bow a lot of times and people are posting stuff on Instagram, no, that they are under. Every month they got to figure it out. Every month they got to sell their ass off in order to try to get that commission check so they can pay their car note. It's not even worth it. The stress is not worth it. The headache is not worth it. In order to keep up appearances, I'm all for having nice things. Lord knows I'm all for having nice things, but at what expense is what I'm saying. If you can't pay it cash, if you can't go get that bag, and I'm not saying that you should pay cash because there are some arbitrage, some ways that you can life hack to ensure that you are making even more money as a result of it. But at the very, very basics, the foundation, if you can't even afford close to an $800 car note, you probably shouldn't have a car note. And you should probably get the hell up out of there and stay out of the Mercedes dealership. That's not for you. When I see these stories come across, and I need to start doing more reactions to them. When I see these stories come across my feed, it's weird to me. It's very, very weird, the mindset of people that's broke, that's still desperate to show off to people that don't care nothing about them. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Teach Henley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love you. I appreciate you. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Peace.